So now we've got these, I'm showing you this assembly, and I'll show you on the diagram, I'll show you how all of these are interconnected so that you can see how this actually looks in real time. First we'll talk about the signal from this down here, which is the signal that goes to the pouch of the play valve. This is the play valve, this is the rewind valve. We'll talk about the signal that comes here, and you can see that this goes to the play port on the tracker bar, and this goes to the rewind port on the tracker bar. And here, see if I'm in frame here. Here we have the Y connector or the T connector for the play port, and it is going up here to the atmosphere side of the rewind valve, and this is the atmosphere side of the rewind valve. And then we have the atmosphere side of the play valve, and if we follow that around, we see that it goes to the rewind port on the tracker bar and over to the rewind pouch, which comes from the atmosphere side of the play valve and goes over to the rewind pouch. And I put a vacuum gauge on that chamber, on the exhaust chamber of the play valve, and gauge on the atmosphere side of the rewind valve. So that's where this is right here, and then there's where it would normally go to the bellow. So there's a vacuum gauge right here, and there's a vacuum gauge in this line. I got one teed into this line so that you can see when there's vacuum in these two chambers. I'm sorry, I take that back. The vacuum gauge is here and here. Okay. So we can see when there's vacuum in this chamber or in this chamber. Now we initially turn it on, and the play valve activates. And when the play valve activates, there's vacuum in this chamber. There's no vacuum in this chamber until the rewind port opens. And when the rewind port opens, this one turns off, that one turns on. But when we close that, the pouch is receiving air or atmosphere. The pouch is receiving atmosphere from this side of the play valve. You notice that there's no vacuum here. See, that's now we're in this state right here. We're in rewind, and as you can see, when we're in rewind, there's atmosphere in the play valve, and it finds its way through the bleed into here and keeps this pouch inflated. And that's what the situation is right now, with the play valve or the rewind valve inflated and operating, and vacuum in this side right here. So the rewind bellow is closed, and it stays that way all the way through rewind until it gets down to the end of the roll, and the play perforation on the tracker bar opens up, and then it's only there for a moment. It changes state. Now we've got vacuum back in the play valve and no vacuum in the rewind bellow. And that's how it works.